The Big Gay Radio Show.
My personality ain't going to change anyway.
We've got two of the finest in the Tampa Bay area, Esme Russell and Chris Gorman from the Big Gay Radio Show. Welcome to Necessary Pursuit.
This is my second visit here.
You're so far the only one that has had two visits.
Johnny Carson had guests that would repeat guests, and they would count. So I can't remember who was the most guests that were, but it's a good question.
Well, like Saturday Night Live, like the hosting, like the 5-year club, the 5 Times Club, and so you were on as a solo guest.
Mm-hmm. I think it was the first one or the second one.
The first episode of the first season we recorded.
Yeah.
And that was a lengthy, amazing conversation.
Very personal.
Very personal. We got a lot of good stories, a lot of good backstories, a lot of things that a lot of people just didn't know about you specifically. But we'll get into it. I have a lot of questions about the show, a lot of questions about both of you as individuals. But how did you both meet?
From the show.
From the show.
Our entire relationship has been documented throughout the entirety of the show.
Really?
Every single bit of it.
So when did you both become hosts of the show? Because there's a little bit of a backstory there as well, right?
Yes.
The show originally had different people running it, correct?
There was another individual who was in charge of the show, and eventually he stepped away from doing it, and I took over, and Esme was there before me, and Brian was there before me. And eventually I brought on a bunch of different other individuals like Vince Wasian, Claire Leeson, Joanna Grasso.
Yeah, and Brian.
I always thought from the word go that nobody was stronger in the show than him and I. I never saw it any differently.
Really?
He saw this person and that was fine. I was like, whatever, But I personally always felt
Don't
like
take my thunder.
Like anytime he would say to me, well, nobody's coming. It's just going to be you today and the guest. My response is always the same. Girl, we got this.
Yeah.
Okay, don't I always say that?
Oh, yeah.
We absolutely got this.
Yeah.
I mean,
guys
him
do
and I could talk about, listen, we'll make the weather as boring as it is. It's just hot, right? We'll make it so interesting. We'll talk about climate change and how laws are not being passed. And what, I always say with him, not so much, but with me, if it don't sound good, I'll make something up.
Yeah.
So we can
like beauty shop talk.
Yeah.
You make it work.
I'm very good at that, but.
I mean, even Randy, our general manager, was commenting on that earlier. We were literally talking about how more of a secured, essentially, we were in terms of our show because of our status in terms of what we're doing, what we say, and how we do it.
So 5 years on the air, right?
4 for me, 5 for Esme, technically in total for the show.
And 1 year milestone we just passed.
Yes, for the new time slot, Tuesdays, 11 a.m. to noon.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember I was on your show a couple years ago with Nathaniel, Miss Veronica Fox.
My other
child. And we talked about us, and we talked about our life, and we talked about Veronica performing. We talked about the podcast. Necessary Pursuit was just starting at that time. That was probably about 3 years ago. And I think you had just been a guest on it, and I came on the show. But we were in the studio. We came over, and I think I left my house at midnight to come to the studio to record at, 1 a.m.?
No, we were midnight to 3 a.m.
So I left my house at 11.
11, yeah.
And then I would still listen, but I had to wait until the next day. At the time, I worked a pretty standard out the door by a certain time in the morning kind of job. Now my role and what I do professionally is a little bit different, where I don't have a set time to wake up, but I would never stay up until 1 in the morning or 12 o'clock and listen to a show. So I would listen to it the next day.
We weren't up either.
We weren't either. Exactly. That's why I giggled over it, because I wasn't either.
I didn't know anything about those power drinks until I hung out with him.
And then they got away.
Energy drinks.
Oh, God. And he was like literally, sometimes he'd be literally bouncing off the walls in my mind. He wasn't doing it, but it looked in my mind like he was. He was so hyped.
There were some days that I would take about 6 energy drinks.
Yeah, I don't know how.
What?
I didn't. Yeah, I don't know.
What kind of drinks do you drink?
Celsius.
I mean, I could drink like 2 of them, but
I don't know.
Yeah, I would drink about 6 because I was also
You also
taking...
become immune to it, though.
Oh, yeah.
The caffeine eventually
the
wears
energy
away.
level was through the roof, and he's already high energy.
So do you still drink them now for the morning show?
So, yes and no, a lot less than previously, but
Not
it really
6.
depends on what the external stuff is. At that time, it wasn't at all. I wasn't doing 6 energy drinks during the show, obviously.
Right.
But I was taking 6 classes for my associates at that time. I was also working part-time.
You asked me a question in the car.
We'll get to it.
Yeah,
I gave Esme a preview of what I wanted to ask.
It's in my head because
I want to really briefly, though, ask, because you just said something about your coursework and different things. You talk about it very openly, and you talk about it a lot on the radio show. political science and all the things you're doing in school and your other profession outside of the radio show. We know a lot about Esme. I don't know really anything about you other than, hi, I'm Chris Gorman. I'm the show twink here at the Big Gay Radio Show at 11 a.m. on Tuesday mornings on WMNF. Tell me about you. Where are you from? What did you do to grow up and get into this business, and how'd you get here?
I'm born and raised in Seminole, Florida. I haven't lived anywhere else in my entire life.
Okay.
I think I've only been out of the state of Florida maybe 3 or 4 times. And honestly, I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I love this area. I kind of just fell in love with it when I was like 16, 17 years old. I was actually talking about this on the show this week, that I really didn't like growing up in this area. But I went to St. Pete Pride Street Festival, and then previously also the Tampa Bay Rays Pride Night. And those 2 events really made me fall in love with the community that is within St. Petersburg and the broader Tampa Bay area. So I just never left. I never left, and I left my parents' place at about 18 years old. I lived on my own for about 7, 8 months. And
how many cats did you have at that point in your life?
No, I had none. I had none. So
you
I was
talk
actually
about the cats all the time.
Yeah, I actually at that time I was working about 100 hours at Walgreens on $9 an hour, and just to support myself on my own. So I was not even home. If I had a cat, it would have been neglected.
I call her the cat lady.
He is a cat lady.
I do call him the cat lady because he's got 8.
You have a lot of cats.
Yes,
Yeah,
I have 8. During Hurricane Milton, we started with 2, Conrad and Tig. And then during Milton, there was a family friend who was evacuating. They just kind of were about to leave them on the side of the road, and we couldn't let that happen.
No, you have to take all those cats in.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And then Sean actually most recently, I think about 2 or 3 months ago, found a 3-day-old kitten on the side of the road just screaming its head off, and he started taking care of it. He started giving it kitten milk replacement, and it's been doing such an amazing job.
And the rest is history.
The rest is history.
You could open a farm.
I could. I very much
little
could.
cat farm.
A little petting zoo.
Yeah, I would when I recently did Polk Pride. They have one of those big, gigantic. I never told Chris. They have like a giant SUV.
Full of cats?
It's filled with cats.
What?
Yes. And it's got air conditioning in there, and the cats.
Oh my God, that sounds like your dream job.
So what it is, you go into the SUV and you sit down, and you can hang out with all the cats, and they all come up to you, and you give them treats. And I was like, oh my God, if Chris sees this vehicle, he would lose his mind. I mean, it's like literally filled with cats.
And they were like selling or like adopting
so
cats
you could adopt
on
them,
the fly?
yes. But you don't want to. I was thinking, after a while, I sat there and thought, 8 cats and Chris in this vehicle. No, he doesn't. I don't think Sean would like it.
I stay away
that would
from
be a
cats
great little
that you can
retirement gig for you, though. If like when you get older, you could like buy a van and drive around and.
But what a great therapy, right?
I know.
People were like so relaxed in there. It was so quiet.
So I have this sick fantasy dream of having. I like cats because they're easier, but I want 4 dogs. And I want to name them after the Seinfeld characters because I'm a crazy Seinfeld person.
Like I am with Frasier.
Yes, I'm a crazy Seinfeld person. But we don't have a yard. We have a townhouse.
Oh, yeah.
So I refuse to put any type of animal in a house that can't run freely.
I agree.
And I'm not walking 4 dogs every day, 5 times a day. I just want to open the door.
And the dog on Frasier is, do you know the dog's Frasier's name? I know the dog's on Frasier.
You've told me this before.
The dog's name is Eddie.
Eddie. Yeah.
Eddie. They used 2 dogs throughout the series. One of them died. He got old and he died. So they had to replace him. You can't even tell.
No.
Because that breed of dog is like, they burrow.
Burrow?
Yeah, they go under that's what they hunt rabbits and stuff. Yeah.
We could talk about Frasier all night.
I do love Frasier a lot.
Like you are with cats.
Yeah, no, I like Frasier. I think Frasier and I Love
Crane.
Lucy are 2 of the greatest comedies ever written. I Love Lucy for its simplicity.
Yeah.
Very simple. Even if you don't understand English, you can understand I Love Lucy, which I know because my parents, when I was growing up, didn't understand very good English, and they would watch it.
And that was their show?
And they would laugh loudly. So I knew that the humor was very simplistic and that anyone could understand it. And the other one, Frasier, I love for the very opposite reason. Frasier, you have to be very sophisticated and very educated because
that's true.
he uses a lot of language. He talks about opera and wines and just theater, and he's very upscale, kind of nerdy, uppity white guy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's the polar opposite of I Love Lucy.
And he had a radio show on the show.
And ironically,
and here you are on the radio.
I love him because of the radio show. Yes.
We'll pivot to, I want to talk about this political climate we're in, right? We don't have to dive too far into it because that'll take us until the next election if we want to really talk about it. But I know what it means to me. What does it mean to the both of you, and I'm sure your listeners feel the same, to have an 11 a.m. time slot in the state of Florida of a show that is called The Big Gay Radio Show? Not only that, but that's what a lot of your premise is. You've got Joanna, you've got all these people coming on talking about the news and the LGBTQ plus, the whole community, right? What does it mean to you guys to have that platform?
So very much like The View, there are hosts on The View that know what they're talking about, like Chris. They know the legal side of it. And there are hosts that are just showing the emotional side of it, like me, right? So it makes good because he knows the legalese of it.
Yeah.
Right? He understands at courts the system, how the process is.
You have a political science background, right?
So I walk in there screaming, look what he's saying on TV. He's going to cut the food stamps. He goes, he did cut the food stamps. That is true. But this is not how this works.
Right.
There are laws.
Yeah.
He can't do that. I know that he did it, but it's not going to last. The judges are going to get involved. They're going to
take a break, take a breath.
But he has. So it's a totally different perspective. He has really taught me to look at it from he obviously we're very far apart in age.
Yeah.
Right. So it's great that I've allowed myself to listen to somebody younger than me, but obviously knows more about that than I do. Because he's right. I would say 90% of the stuff.
You guys are a great mix to have to go back and forth.
And that brings me to the answer to your question,
which is.
When you asked me, when did you know that it was going to work?
Yeah.
And I said, I knew that it was going to work when he would get upset with me on the air, and I would get upset in the moment. But as soon as the mics turned off, I was no longer angry.
Yeah, I asked her, I said, driving over here, I said, I don't want to give you all my questions or really talk about too much. I said, let's just get there and then we'll get into it. I said, but when did you know it was working? When did you know it was going to be a great professional relationship on the radio for your listeners?
And for me, that was the moment. I knew then. It's because I wasn't mad anymore. I would stay quiet for a while, but I really wasn't mad.
Yeah.
I just didn't get mad because we're in the heat of the show.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys talk about a lot of things. You talk about a lot of coverage.
Our show is very organic.
Yeah.
It's not, we have topics.
No, but you guys talk about a lot of things. And that was like my, question I had asked earlier was like in this political climate, where not many people have the strength or stamina or whatever you want to call it to go out there and be brave enough to talk about the things you talk about because you're on the radio. I mean, you have a time slot in the morning, and you have, I'm sure, plenty of listeners that are listening, gay, straight, and everything in between. So. Like, what does that mean to you personally to have that privilege? Do you know what I mean? Like that.
So for me, honestly, I'm born and raised in this area, so I've always known a more of an inclusive, atmosphere. But then, you go into places like where there's Polk Pride, Pasco Pride, and everything like that, and you don't necessarily see the most inclusive areas.
No,
you see
don't.
The Confederate flags, you see the racism, you see the homophobia, and then you sit back and then you realize. We're broadcasted here too, and that's where it means a lot to me. Because I would go up to people and they would ask me, especially right after the new time slot, well, what's next? And my first answer was syndication. I would love to go and see us syndicated throughout the entirety of the Bible Belt. But I've recently sat back and I've realized, you're exactly right. We are in a very conservative state, broadcasted in a very wide range. I think it's 7 different counties. And we've got anybody at any given time at 11 in the morning can just go ahead and tune us in.
Turn it on.
turn us on.
Well, you say it a lot. I don't mean to interrupt you, but we live in a bubble here.
We do live.
So
in
we
a
live
bu-
in a very
we
safe
do
little
live in a
bubble here with our great mayor and all the great things that
do.
happen in this community between St. Pete and Tampa.
So my life as a trans person is not difficult because we live in that bubble. So I often say it on the radio, which I'm sure it angers listeners that are homophobic or transphobic.
Sure.
But I don't have a horrible life as a woman. I just don't.
No,
I function in society great. I don't go into a woman's bathroom and have everybody looking, going, "What are you doing? Why are you in here?" I function everywhere I go. So I'm very blessed that way. But I never wanted, my part of being on the radio was I never wanted to hide who I was, because I thought that being transgender and having a voice and being able to communicate my emotions and my feelings in my life, even if you don't agree with it, was a big freaking deal.
Yeah.
I come from an era of trans people that we had to hide. So I'm on the air telling people I live this way.
Yeah.
I'm not hiding it. I know what I am. I am not a woman. I live as a woman. Okay. And I don't say these words, but I'm thinking it. Too bad for you, because I'm going to keep on living my life. And if you like me, great. And if you don't, well, you can change the radio.
Change the dial.
You know, but they don't change the radio. They stay, and he knows, and they call back. And some of them have stalked us.
Yes.
What are your...
We've had stalkers. I mean,
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
People wait outside?
Yeah, well, not outside the station.
They have followed
but
him.
There were
Really?
people that I would go to cocktail, and they would, follow me throughout the building. They wouldn't say anything, but they would. If I would go inside, they would go inside. If I went
Really?
outside, they would go outside. And then
Is that me? No, I'm just kidding.
No, not
no,
you.
no.
Then
I saw
when
you
I
there
got
last
into
week.
an Uber one time, this individual actually flipped me off while I was
Oh,
getting
that's
into the
so
Uber.
nice.
But I don't
People
want to
are crazy.
discredit the midnight to 3 a.m. time slot, because honestly, that did give us a very big platform in its entirety.
Well, it oiled the machine.
Well, not only that, but we reached so many individuals in that time slot. Not only the haters, but I have an entire desk full of letters from inmates who
I
say,
remember you always talking about letters
Yes.
from inmates
Yeah.
coming in.
That is true.
Exactly.
And
And,
that's
they say how much we feel connected to the community.
Sure.
And honestly, midnight to 3 a.m. is probably one of the lowest times you can find in a jail cell, because you're missing your family.
Yeah.
And I mean, luckily, I've never had to experience that, but I know a lot of people who have experienced that. And honestly, reality sits in a jail cell.
Yeah, I wasn't
even
never
imagine.
worried about going to the 11 o'clock time slot. I never was.
No.
He wasn't either, though. But
No.
I knew we were ready.
You guys had it.
We had been doing
Yeah.
this for 3 years. I knew we were ready. I knew it. I said, come on, just give us a chance. You know, because one thing about our show, it's not boring.
No. There's no dead air in
Even
that
I'm
hour.
doing the show, so I know, when you're doing something and you're bored, you go, oh my God, if I'm bored, they got to be freaking bored, man.
No, you guys are on it.
No, we're not boring people at all. Now, you may not agree with us. We get mad sometimes. He's very passionate. I am too, which makes great radio. I mean,
But you guys have, like you just said earlier, it's like, and what we talked about in the car, when people are able to walk away from a disagreement, not even an argument,
Yeah.
that's a great relationship. It's just like any good marriage, it's like any good friendship or family. Like,
It's what's missing in politics nowadays,
Yeah.
because right now we have people who just sling insults at each other and call each other the most heinous names on all ends. And we need to have more civil discourse. We need to have civil conversation.
I told you, Anna Navarro and Whoopi
Yeah.
Goldberg,
They had a blowout.
they were on the table, and Anna kept talking, and Whoopi did one of Chris's signals to me, cut it off,
Yeah.
and she kept talking. And in the middle of the conversation, she looked over at Anna and said, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Seriously, didn't I tell you to stop? And then she went, don't do that. And she apologized to the guest. It was Vance. The vice president. And then we're going to commercial break. When they came back, they were absolutely normal. And the interviewer asked her, were you mad? She said, I wasn't mad. Whoopi is my friend. And she was right. I just kept talking. I got caught up in the moment, and we're great. And I said, that's a great
thing to have.
Yeah, your great working relationship.
Yeah.
She got it. She was in the wrong. It was just no big deal. Move on. Just don't do it again.
You guys definitely have that. I see it. I hear it.
Yeah.
I mean, I listen to your show every week. If I don't catch it at 11, I catch it after I stream it on Apple, on the podcast platform, and the after show. What's your favorite part about doing the show?
Talking to Esme. Honestly, I love talking to Esme. Oh, absolutely.
Do you guys talk between the shows, like throughout the week?
Oh,
a lot?
We talk a
Sometimes
lot.
the conversation, I've often said that I wish the show was on camera because we just keep talking.
Yeah.
Like we'll go out to a break or whatever, and we'll be.
Is that your favorite part too? Having a co-host
well, talking.
Talk to?
Yeah. He's very engaging. He's not boring.
No,
He's not a boring.
Well, he's
person.
very intelligent. You're both very intelligent in your own ways.
He's not boring. He's not a boring person. And, it's crazy for you. He's 26 years old. But again, this is why it's so important for people my age. Don't underestimate somebody that's in their 20s.
No.
Okay, they don't have a lot of life experience, but that doesn't mean that they don't know about life or that they have knowledge of things.
Right.
This thing about all these young kids today, they don't know anything. That's not necessarily
true. No, you
true.
can't. And that's the old saying, right? Like, don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Like, not every 26-year-old left his home and went and worked at Walgreens for $9 an hour and killed himself to make himself paychecks,
There's a lot of young people that are like this.
Yeah.
And that's what I always like to highlight, especially on the show. Is
You can always tell as well when you're talking to people.
Politics are changing because of that.
Very much so.
And they're changing fast.
I go into my classes, and I'm sometimes the oldest person in the room, and I'm the quietest, and I feel like the dumbest, to be honest. And I honestly, I see the saying, if you're the smartest person in the room, leave the room. You need to know where to go ahead and find your people.
Yeah, it's a good saying. That's a really good.
You two are definitely the smartest people that I know on the radio. I don't know too many other people that are.
She's got a
broadcasters.
master's in metaphysics.
No, I
and
know, and that's what I'm
studies,
saying.
And
Like,
I'm almost over with my political science.
You
We're
know a little
educated.
bit about everything.
We fangirl over other radio broadcasters. Well, we had Drew Garabo on. We were like,
oh
we
yeah,
were so excited about him. And he's so
great.
good.
He's so great.
He is so good at what he does, man.
He definitely has a. He has a
He's
way of
smart. He's good.
like
he's
he's
witty.
talking the talk.
Yeah, he's witty. He's a very opinionated. I just love everything about him. I was just, oh my God, I was so happy to have him on the show. I can't even tell you. When I found out he was getting him on the show, I was like, I thought it was a dream. It was a dream. That day I got him.
That was just recently, right? Like in the last month.
That was our first fun drive in our new time slot. We had a guest. It was actually interesting. WMNF decided to switch the days of their fun drive last minute. And it just so happened that Drew Garabo was going to be on the show that we had our fun drive.
Oh my God, that's
so
perfect.
I hit him up. I was like, would you mind fundraising with us? And it was amazing. It was one of the best interviews we've had.
He was so good, my God. It's one of the
He called
best.
people donor boners.
Donor boners.
On air.
I miss that.
He's just so good, man. He's just so witty and smart. And so, yeah.
He's a staple.
Very
He really
much.
is.
He is
yeah.
a staple
He's a
in the
legend.
community. Yes, 100%. Speaking of legends, speaking of staples in the community, how many years now? Where are we at in this drag entertainment world of
So I
yours?
started in 1976 living as a woman, but I didn't get my first job until 79.
Okay.
But I was living as a woman, and I was
50
doing little
years.
shows, though. I was doing little talent shows. I was a little kid, Nobody was going to give me a job, They'd have to sneak me into the club and get in drag. But yeah, 50 years.
50 years.
50 years I've been doing this.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, it just doesn't, I don't even know what that means. It's just crazy. It's a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
That's a long, that's, some people don't live 50 years. That's a lifetime.
Yeah,
That's
it is a long time.
How old are you? 26, right?
26.
I'm 39. So, 50
He's
years
almost
is a
twice
long
my
damn
age in
time.
drag.
It is a long time. It is. Yeah. So I lived through probably the worst plague in the gay. Well, it was one of the worst plagues. The pandemic was bad. The pandemic was very bad.
But it wasn't specifically targeting our
community, really. And it was so much going on at that time. There was not only there was death all around us, but there was also the isolation. The president Reagan at the time didn't want to talk about it. Senators, Congress people, nobody wanted to talk about AIDS. So people were dying, and nobody was on TV telling us what's happening. So when they did talk about it, they said it's the gay disease. It's God's punishment. It became very religious. And so the isolation, if you were gay during that time, nobody, a lot of people didn't want to hang out with you. Families would ostracize their children. Nobody wanted to be socializing with you. Nobody wanted, if you were gay at a job, you would lose your job. You know, because people are afraid that it was that contagious where you would just catch it from the air.
Right.
I mean, gay people became pariahs.
There was no news on it. It was all sheltered.
So it was just a dark, dark time. And I always told Chris, we danced. That's what we did. Mm-hmm. He said, what did y'all do? I said, we danced and danced and danced and played music and went to clubs and danced. Yeah. And it was during an era where people danced. We were coming out of
had good music in the 80s.
Yes, we were coming out of the disco era, and then it was kind of going into the techno and all that kind of stuff, you know. So
one of the most heartbreaking stories that Esme has probably ever told me on air is the story of her daughter, Crystal.
Yeah, she was dying, and it was weeks before she died. Because I have several stories with her, but one of them was weeks before she died. I was staying at her little apartment over there in South Tampa, and she said to me, are you staying the night? And I said, yeah. She goes, because I don't feel good. She said, is there any way you could hold me? Sleep in the bed with me and hold me? And I said, you want me to hold you? And she goes, yeah. I know it sounds weird, but I haven't been held in a very, very long time. Nobody's hugged me or touched me or comforted me in that way. Not even her own family. They would not hug her. So I thought, wow, that's a weird request. And I said, okay. She said, and then she warned me as I was getting into bed. She goes, I sweat a lot. So, because when you had full-blown AIDS, those fluids would come out of your body while you were sleeping. So I wore pajamas, and my pajamas were soaking wet when I woke up in the morning. Yeah, they were. But
she just needed that.
She needed that touch.
That comfort.
But it was weird because I guess because of my age, I was really young, you know.
Yeah.
I wasn't thinking, ooh, this is gross.
And how old was she at the
time? So... She died at 32, 1 year before I won Miss Florida, and I won Miss Florida when I was 33. So that means, you know, it was probably maybe like around 20. Like I was around 30 and she was around 29, somewhere around there. Because she had AIDS for a long time and it got progressively worse. You know, I told Chris one of the things I most distinctly remember about her death that was very different from my dad's death. My dad just went to sleep and he was great. He lived 100 years. Yeah. What does he care, right? He did good. But she died saying, I don't want to die. You know, she said it. Esme, I don't want to die. Yeah. I don't want to die. And that's just really, but that's what we had to live through in the 80s and the 90s, early 90s. That's what we had to live through. That's why I always tell people, the gay community, we come from a stock of warriors. Mm-hmm. We're not just powerful people because of our charisma and our many talents of hairdressers and designers and medical, and we have all sorts of different energies that we put out to the world as that are gifts with us, but we're also fighters. We're also unwilling to give up. This is why this pride thing, they've been blocking this pride, and we can't do a parade, and this is not going to win. They're not going to win. We're still going to
There's always going to be a force.
We're always going to do pride. You cannot stop us.
Yeah, no.
You cannot stop us.
One of my favorite things that I ever saw, like quite literally one of my favorite things I've ever seen in my life, was when you guys did the drag to the Capitol, 3 years ago?
Yeah.
And you got up there on the microphone at the Capitol, and you said, I'll paraphrase it, but you said, they say I'm a man, right? You were standing there at the thing, and you go, every man. I forget how you said it, but you said every man treated equally, or something like that.
I want to be treated like every other man.
I want to be treated like every other man. Every man supposed to be treated equal, and you go, they say I'm a man, right? And everybody started laughing, kind of, and clapping for you because it's so true.
All men should be treated equal under the law, and when they said men, they really meant everyone.
Sure,
but back in those days, that's how they wrote it, obviously, but. I would like to think our founding fathers were including everyone.
Would still include,
but certainly in modern times, we can say that everyone should be equal under the law, and that includes if you break the law.
Yeah, Okay. We got plenty of people breaking laws.
Some people shouldn't rob the IRS and not pay their taxes and get away with it. Well, this poor guy over here, he has to pay it back and go to prison. No. That's not how we're going to do this. Okay, everybody should get in trouble equally. Yeah.
What's something maybe whatever happened to you on the radio or in public? You've been a performer for a long time. You've been on the radio for a long time, but what's something embarrassing that you could laugh about now? Something that you said or something you did that you were like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that? Or oh, you guys could probably back it up and edit it though, right? You have a little.
So we got a
delay.
jump button. Yeah, we're on a 16-second delay.
What's like a good story where you like hung it up and said, did I just do that? Or did I? Can you think of anything that in your career?
I don't actually, Esme. Honestly, I stand by pretty much everything that I've said.
You
but
stand by it.
On the radio, not so much.
Not on
But in
radio.
drag, I've made some
Plenty.
Oh gosh, I remember my first drag show. I had to do. I didn't know about duct tape. Nobody told me.
Oh wow!
And I did a show, and we had to do.
What do you do with the duct tape?
We had to do a production, and I wore a little bathing suit, and one came out one side, and the other one came out the other side, and and I was just up there just working it, and they were both hanging out, and the crowd was cheering.
Oh, they were cheering, I'm
waving,
sure. Yeah,
and I was like, wow, I am working this number, man. And I had my solo, and I did my dancing and everything, and the show director's going,
get behind the curtain.
Go. Like signaling. His name was Ernie Serrano in Miami Beach. I'll never forget it. That was my first gig out there. Anyway, yeah, that was it.
Did you get booked again?
Oh, absolutely. I got hired.
They wanted you back real quick.
Oh, yeah, I got hired. But what's crazy is that when I got backstage, all the girls said, girl, look. And I looked down, I went, oh my God, no wonder they were cheering. Oh, the gays will laugh at anything, honey. They will find it. But yeah, that's probably one of the funniest things that ever happened. It never happened again, I can tell you that.
No, you got that roll of duct tape real quick.
I've had things shift though.
Oh, well.
But a little bulge is different from the ovaries completely hanging out.
Chris, you refer to yourself as the daytime, is it twink of radio? Twink of, how do you say it?
No, I call myself the show twink.
The show twink.
Since I'm
but now you're getting older.
now, I'm dead.
Okay, so
death of a show twink.
So what happens, I'm dying to know, after the death of a twink? What do you become? What do you do? Where do we go? What's happening?
I've just called it the show host at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't find a new name for myself yet. Well, the thing about
the thing is, you still look very young, so you can still carry this for a couple more years.
6 years old.
You can still ride this gravy train a couple more years and call yourself the show twink.
Actually came from the person.
Oh yeah, where'd you get the name?
Yeah, we actually I got Trans Queen of Radio for Esme. I named that.
Yeah.
Because the fact that Esme is there's not really many other trans people on radio
in the United States that I know of. There's nobody else, not openly trans.
Right.
If she's out there,
I've heard you say that before.
Yeah, there's one in Texas that did for a while, and maybe in New York, but they're not doing it anymore. I know that in Europe there's been a couple, but it's not very known. It's not, So
and then by the person who would call about 80 times a show for 3 months, she would also live tweet the show. And like tweet about how much she hates us and how much we're terrible people. And she would say how this little show twink, she was
getting so much publicity.
Loved it. I loved little.
How
show
much
twink.
hate mail do you get there? I know you said you get some
it's not too
stalkers.
bad.
Do you get people?
Not anymore. Ever since actually the daytime move, we've gotten a lot less. But we're also we have a phone screener. Deb, who's absolutely amazing. So she kind of makes sure that well, she's an older individual, and she's very nice. And so when she answers so sweetly.
And
she used to be a nurse, by the way. Our phone screener used to be.
Oh, really?
And
so she's got patience.
She's got patience.
Yeah. So we don't necessarily see that much hate. Recently, though, we got a message that said, "We don't represent the queer community."
I thought that was really.
And I thought that
we've
was
never
insane.
said that.
Because honestly, the first week that I came on, the old host actually asked me, what would a twink have to say about this? And I explicitly said I would never speak on a population because every person's unique. Everybody's got their own unique personality.
Right.
We go ahead and talk from an LGBTQ perspective, and sometimes we're wrong.
And I'm speaking, and I'm speaking from a transgender perspective. Mind you, a trans woman of another era. So, modern trans women aren't as open about being male or whatever. Trans women say trans women are women. I personally don't adhere to that belief.
Yeah, we've talked about that before.
That's okay. I respect where
that's your belief.
I respect where you're at. If you believe that trans women are women, then that's you. Then that's what you.
Yeah.
But I came from another era. I was born another era. Don't get me wrong. I do understand that perspective, though, that trans women are women. I know what they're doing. I get it. I'm just more comfortable just not putting that pressure on myself because I obviously was not born female. So, and my shtick in life has been that I'm not.
Right.
That's what's
It works.
It works.
Yeah.
It really has. I've taken these lemons and I've made lemonade out of it.
Yeah.
Or lemon drops.
Yeah.
Or lemon drop martinis.
And I'm just I'm doing the best that I can out of it. So, but I always tell people, just like young gays, just like trans women, just like gay men, whatever.
Yeah.
Just like straight people, we're all different. We're all coming at this from our point of view. We have similarities, and then we have parts of our lives where we splinter, where we're different, where we view things in a different way. You know, I know trans women that lean politically conservative.
Caitlyn Jenner.
I don't understand it.
Jenner.
I don't lean that way, but
Now she's crying the blues.
now she's crying the blues.
Girl.
But what I saw when I went to go get my license renewed, they said we have to change your your F back in M, and she leaned in and she said, "But I can leave it F if you want me to," and act like I didn't notice it. And I said, "Girl, change it back to M because I don't care.
Right.
It is not a big deal
You
to
know
me.
who you, yeah.
It does not matter. It is not an issue for me. I am not in hiding. I
Right.
know who I am as an individual, and it's for. I told you. He knows. It's just you know too.
Yeah.
It is just not a big deal. It's not.
To some it is, and to you it's great
It's
that you
just
can
not a
live
big
that
deal. It's
way. You
just
know,
not a big-
it's like
Yeah.
no sweat on
and
your.
the passport going back to Mayo doesn't bother me at all either.
Yeah.
I could whatever.
Well, this is also coming from somebody who was born in an era where you'd be arrested if you
Sure.
didn't have multiple
Yeah,
men's
yeah.
clothing underneath your women's clothing.
That is correct. And mind you, in the state of Florida, it is illegal. So if they left my license that way, I would technically be walking around with a license that is breaking the law.
And they're looking for any reason.
And I am telling you right now, I don't know about other homosexuals, but this trans homosexual over here ain't going to jail
No.
because of an M
No.
or an F, excuse me, because
No,
I would
no,
have to
no.
have an F. I'm not going to jail for that. You know what I mean? It's just not that big of a deal. So put the M, I'm good. And I pretend that the M means that it's one of my names, Michelle. It's my code name,
It's your
Michelle.
alter ego.
It's my alter ego, Michelle.
Esme Michelle.
Yeah, whatever. You know, it's just, it doesn't matter. I don't care.
Let's talk about you as a ordained minister.
Yes. Well, the reason I did that, you know why I did that.
I know why you did it. But something you say, and you just said something in the last little segment here, but something you say often is there's no such thing as gay marriage.
There is no such thing as
And
gay marriage.
that was a line that I've
Yeah.
used many times. In fact, I used it in my wedding vows when I was talking
Yeah.
to the people at my wedding.
That's true.
And I was holding the microphone during the vows, and I'm talking to people, and you were standing there, and Nathaniel was standing there. I went up to some people around me, and I said specifically to the one guy, I said, when people ask you, are you married? Do you say, yes, I'm married to a woman. Like, this is my wife. Like, no, you just say, yeah, I'm married.
It doesn't matter.
I'm married.
It
yeah.
doesn't matter who
Does
it is.
anybody come up to you and say, are you in a straight marriage?
There's no such
How many
thing. It's
times
just
have you ever been? I
ridiculous.
said this to a straight couple.
Yeah.
So while they were waiting, like standing there watching me give my vows, I said, "Has anybody ever asked you, are you guys in a straight marriage?" And they're like, "No." I go, "Correct," because it's not supposed to be said that way.
And when gay men say my husband, I get thrilled.
Sure.
It makes me so happy.
Yeah.
I don't know what joy. I cannot tell you if there is something in this world that brings me joy is when a gay man says to me, this is my, or they're in a public place and they go, can I introduce my husband? And I think, oh my God, these guys, man, do you know how hard my generation, I get chills talking about, my hairs are standing on end. My generation fought for this. People died. People literally lost their lives so that men and women could get married of the same sex, to be together in a life commitment. And yes, there are going to be divorces. Straight people get divorced. I don't want to hear about divorces, okay?
Yeah.
Straight people get divorced and nobody says anything, okay?
Every day.
Okay. So sometimes relationships work, sometimes they don't. But just to have the privilege to be able, and the equality, but that's what it is. It's the equality to be able to say, I am a valid human being. I live in this country just like you, And I want you to know that this is my life partner.
Well, that's why your show is so damn important,
Yeah.
too. Like, to have that platform to go out and speak to the community, whether it's from here to Pinellas County or here to Texas, you're reaching an audience that, dare I say, 10 years ago might have turned the dial. Now it's like a little bit less, right? 20 years ago, for sure, you wouldn't even had a time slot. 10 years ago, you might have had a time slot in like Los Angeles or New York or one of these bigger cities, inner cities that have a lot more in terms of broadcasting. But I don't know of any other radio shows in Tampa that were ever called the Big Gay Radio Show. And now you guys have a daytime talk show.
It took me a long time to get used to.
Because you had a radio show years ago.
It was called the Esme Russell Show.
But
and it was internet podcast, right?
Yeah.
So, but it was broadcast all over the world.
This is a daytime, Tuesdays at 11, like
local show,
local on MLK, right? I mean,
right
you guys
there,
record down the street. It took us 8 minutes to get here.
In a legitimate radio studio, yes, you can hear it on the radio if you're in your car. You can actually turn on your radio in your car and listen to us.
I love it.
Yeah,
I think it's great.
So people, I always tell him, people are literally driving to work or driving to lunch.
I listen to it. Yeah. So I travel for work, and I always listen to it the next day because I start very early in the morning. I don't have a lot of people around me, so I can put my AirPods in and kind of get my work done at 5 in the morning or whatever time I'm sitting there alone. I listen to it the next day when I'm on the road. So it's usually on a Wednesday morning. I'll listen to the regular show, then I'll listen to the after show right after it. So I have like a good 2 hours right there that I can catch up on the Tampa politics and the Tampa goings on. Any favorite guests?
Esme likes the furries.
Oh, you do love the furries. You've talked about this before. I guess because
I think it's kind of childlike.
Tell me about the furries.
Well, we had a furry on.
His name was Kippa.
And I thought...
I remember the episode. It was a while ago.
So
right? It was at nighttime, right?
I thought the furries... So I just got me... I'm being honest now. So.
I know nothing about the furries other than
I thought they were
the little
freaks,
bit that we all know.
You know? And then Chris always says, Chris's big line to me is, you're always so judgmental. You got to give people a chance.
I mean, you're a man with boobs and a penis.
You're right.
You shouldn't be so judgmental.
You're right. So, but I'm not thinking in those terms. I think I'm normal because I've lived this way my whole life.
Right.
Well, you are normal. That's
for
the
myself.
point. They're also normal.
Right.
That's the whole point. Everybody's normal. It's their own unique personality.
He normalized the furry for me.
Okay.
And
how?
I guess you had to have been there.
Yeah.
He was really good at the interview. He was very, I don't like to use the word docile, but he was very humble.
Uh-huh.
And he had no arrogance about him. And he just shared his story about liking. One of the things that I really understood as a trans person was that when he would put on the outfit, the fur, that he became somebody else. And as a drag queen, I understand that.
Sure.
Esme Russell is a different energy.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm thinking, so this is like an alter ego type of thing. It's like escapism.
That's a huge community.
This individual has discovered a way to escape from his reality into his fantasy. And people do it every day. And you got to realize that I'm a big sci-fi aficionado. And I love the cosplaying with all the people dressed up as Spider-Man and Batman and Superman and all those legitimately detailed costumes that cost thousands of dollars. So I thought, well, this guy's it's a cosplay. That's all it is. He talked about everything in that, wearing that costume, except the one thing I thought he was going to talk about, which I thought he was having some freaky sex while he was wearing it.
Some do.
I understand that, but that's not what he was wanting to share with us.
Right.
It was the headspace, the mentality.
Was sharing the
yeah.
And where he goes when he has that on.
And I click, and boy, he gave me the biggest thrill when he put that, because we interviewed him with the head off.
And then he put it on.
And he put the little mitts on. And he put his arm around me to take the photo, and I was just so happy. I was like, oh my God, this is so wonderful. He would be a guest that I would love to have back.
I was going to say, you should get him back.
He doesn't like repeating guests, but he would be a guest that I would. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because he was really that good.
Well, I love the furry community primarily because they got a lot of money. They got a lot of money.
Those costumes are very expensive.
Wow.
The fursuit can run anywhere between $10,000 to $20,000 to $30,000.
So I put his head on.
That's like a drag pageant.
Yeah. Pretty much.
And I put the mitts on too, and they were like really.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm a materialistic
they must
person.
be like professional grade, like Disney World level costumes.
Disney
right?
World, absolutely.
Wow.
I looked at that costume. I was like, wow, this is a lot of detail. It wasn't cheaply
Imagine
made.
if you have the business to make them. It's a lucrative business.
Yeah,
Like if you're a sewer and you're a
I
person who
invest in
creates
gowns.
costumes. Yeah.
That's my cover up, right? And in costumes, he's investing in his furs. So yeah, I don't know what his favorite guest is, but that would have been mine, definitely.
I'd say Drew would probably be one of the top
Garabo.
ones. Drew Garabo, definitely.
I would say he runs up there too.
But there is one person that I have invited on more than anybody else, and that is Alice Marie Grip, Alex Quinto. And the reason for that is that I actually hosted the morning show in middle school with her.
Oh, that's right. You guys know each other from
middle school.
I
Yeah,
vaguely remember this story.
We were also in chorus.
So she's been on more than once?
She's been on about 5 or 6 times.
Oh, okay.
And she's talked about banning books and all the stuff that's going on. Which
Alice, as a performer, entertainer in this community, is out of control. Her day job, his day job, Alex, is quite impressive as well with all the things that he does with Florida Equality or Equality Florida and just in general. I mean, just always advocating for the community.
Well, people come up to me and ask me, how am I all over the place? How am I always doing stuff? I look over at Alex and I'm like, what the hell are you doing?
Which, by the way, I call Alice Marie Grip Alice Maria. And I just shorten it to Maria sometimes. Because somebody called her Maria or something on stage and I heard it and now it's just stuck in my head. So I call her Alice Maria. And I probably drive her nuts. But no, she's great. And he is phenomenal in all the things that he does as well, as we know. But I forgot you guys knew each other. So she's like the Five Timers Club on SNL.
Yeah, she is the Five Timers Club.
You should count how many
We should get like a vest for her.
Yeah. Do you ever see on Saturday Night Live when they have like a Five Timers, like Tom Hanks will come out and then somebody else will come out and then somebody, and they all come out and they go, well, I'm on the Five Timer. And they have like a green jacket like they get at the Masters for golf.
We'll
like
go ahead and invest in that.
Yeah, go to like the red, white, and blue
We'll have
thrift
to do
store
10
and get
Timers Club because she's already past the
Is
5.
she past 5?
She's past 5 now. She's either 5 or 6 at this point.
Give her a damn mic at this point. Give her a seat.
I'm very interested in the behind the scenes. I mean, she's spoken a lot about working with the kids and the banning of the books. The banning of the books was a real big deal for me because I was a big, I still am, but I love books, right? And when I was in third grade or fourth grade, I think it was third grade, I checked out the book Charlotte's Web. I checked it out like 6 or 7 times in a row. Nobody could get the book out of the.
You always had it.
I always had the book. Okay, I kept reading it over and over and over. It became my favorite book. I saw the movie with Debbie Reynolds, and then I also saw it with Julia Roberts, who played Charlotte. Beautiful, beautiful films. I love both of them. But the book got banned, and I got really sad because I thought about how much I loved that book as a kid about friendship and loyalty and being different. Charlotte was scary, right?
Yeah.
But she was still a good creature. She was still trying to help, in the
incredible character.
Even though she was giving birth, she was in a struggle of her own life, and she left all her babies to Wilbur. It's all just such the whole
it's a beautiful story,
the gorgeous story. And I'm thinking, children are missing out on this incredible, magical story. And when I asked her why did they ban it, girl, when she told me, I about lost my freaking mind. I mean, again, they call this the free state of Florida, but it's not free.
No.
It's not free when you hear the answer that I'm going to give you. They banned the book because the animals in the book talk. And in real life, animals don't talk. Whatever happened to using your imagination? Right. That's what being a child is using your imagination and comparing it to the real world.
Of all the books they can ban, that's the one that they pick. I mean, among many others that have been banned.
All of Dr. Seuss books have practically been banned. But that one really bothered me so much, man, because I loved it.
Because the animals could talk.
But these were not ordinary animals,
no,
right?
It's a storybook. It's a playbook.
There's so many lessons. And Templeton, I love Templeton the rat because he was asked to go get the words that Charlotte was going to use. But we all know a Templeton, somebody that's really doesn't want to help out. This person really is out for themselves and gets dragged into some crazy. And at the end, Templeton becomes a hero too. You know, and I thought,
It's a great story.
Oh my God, this is a great story. And then the gossiping geese. And there's so many, we all know people that gossip. And in one of the movies, Oprah was one of the geese.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she played
I don't think I ever saw the movie. I remember when it came out. And the only reason I remember when it came out is because I remember seeing the names like Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts did a great voice for because Charlotte was always very calm speaking. She always spoke very gently, you know, and she had very big vocabulary.
Julia Roberts has like, and this is completely off topic, but I just listened to the audiobook of Lisa Marie Presley, and her daughter wrote a book together, like a double autobiography, whatever you want to call it. Lisa Marie passed away and wasn't able to record the audiobook, and Julia Roberts recorded Lisa Marie's portion.
Oh, wow.
And then her daughter, Riley, Keo, was the other voice writing together.
So Julia Roberts is just a little off topic, but it's trivia because I'm always throwing my trivia that I know. Julia Roberts is the only actress that has been banned from working with none other than the great Steven Spielberg. He refuses to work with her. She was a nightmare on the movie Hook. She played Tinkerbell, and he wants nothing. He don't even want to see a photo of her.
I can't believe that.
They have not spoken in years. They don't want nothing. You know, Steven Spielberg.
Well, luckily for her, she's not hurting for work or money, right?
No, but I just find it so funny, right? Of all the directors in the world, Steven Spielberg.
Where do you guys see the show going? So you're at 11 a.m., right? How long are we going to do this? You're going to get syndicated? You're going to be...
I'd love to get syndicated. That would be really
obviously
cool.
This is the goal, right? It's a big dream of both of yours. It's a dream for us to see you guys catapult and do more things.
I think that the show will be successful when we pass on the torch and it continues its success.
I'm following the kid's lead.
Because I don't think that, I think that I would
he's
love
really
to have,
smart.
I would love to have the show syndicated all throughout the nation. But it's not the last thing that I want to do. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be 75, 80 years old doing this still.
Granted, Howard Stern has done very well for himself.
Oh, very much so. But I would rather, go into like some sort of other field of some
where you're going to
variety.
school and you have a lot of irons and a lot of fires,
Yeah.
right? I mean, you're not...
For right now, I mean, it's a fun thing that me and Esme get to continue to do. I would love to like get cameras in the studio eventually. That's kind of one of the main issues that we're currently running into right now.
That would be amazing. Yeah,
it's amazing when you're a man, but when you are a woman, it's work.
You have to get ready.
I got to get ready.
But it's also
it's funny. I picked you up and you go, I figured I'd get ready for this because there's a camera.
There's a camera now, so people are looking. So you're thinking, oh my God, now I got to wear a little makeup, which I do anyway. I always wear stuff because I don't like walking around with no makeup on. But just I don't know. You just play. Now you're playing. I don't know if it'll change. Him and I don't think it'll change us at all. I think a camera running, I don't know if it'll change somebody else, but him and I.
No, but it's just, sometimes it's easier. Right now, video is the platform that everyone needs to be on, right? That's the trending. It has been for years, but now it's more than ever.
Yeah.
With all the platforms on socials and especially YouTube channels, Apple is now launching video platform on their podcasts. I think Spotify may or may not already have it. I don't know.
It does, yeah.
But, it's kind of like what you have to do, right?
Yeah.
So eventually every radio show I feel like will be there. And if you watch the real top of the line entertainment shows, whether it's on XM radio with Howard Stern, they always have a video stream. They always have some sort of video stream happening so they could just watch it later on a different platform.
It's unfortunate because a lot of those places have those massive amounts of money that they can spend.
They have the means to do it.
WMNF is such an amazing station because of the fact that it's community-oriented and listener-supported. So pretty much everybody you hear on air is a volunteer donating their time, trying to raise money for the station, keep up with the upkeep and everything. So to go ahead and do an upgrade like that, it requires so much more than a lot of these other shows have to do because a lot of the times these stations only have like 5 or 6 main shows and then they have brokered content on the weekends. And so it's easier for them to set up that type of stuff. So
it could be something like to look at, in the future just to have maybe not every episode. You know what I mean? Like I don't do every episode in this studio. I do once in a while. You know what I mean? So it's just a matter of like you said, budgeting, and maybe it's something that could happen down the road where you have a very special guest that you want to bring in the camera crew for.
Yeah,
and then do it like that.
I already have a plan with that already.
See that?
We've been
follow
doing
your
a couple,
guy.
We've been doing a
told you
couple.
I'm
She said, "I'm going to follow him." I go,
follow the kid.
He's already got a plan.
People
See
have
that?
asked me before, "What is your future?" And I said, "I'm following the kid." I've always
follow the
that's
kid.
been my my moniker now. That's
By the
what
way,
it's
on the way
worked so
here,
far.
we
Yeah.
talked on the way here about how smart you are.
Oh,
I
God.
think
Very smart. He
the
is very
entire
smart.
8-minute commute here, we talked literally about how
Chris.
smart
It
Chris is.
Chris is smart.
And
He
I
is.
said, "Well, Esme, you're smart too." And she cut me off and goes, "Yeah, but,"
No,
and just took off talking
no, he's
about
smart.
you.
I'm smart, but he's smart in a more logical way. He's
Yeah.
very smart. He's brain. He's smart.
He's got it together.
He's really helped me a lot with politics. You know, even today, I forgot what Trump did, and I used to get so mad. Now I hear him in my head going, "This is not
like the little angel on the shoulder.
this is step one. He says what he says,
Yeah.
and he can say whatever he likes, and then everybody gets all riled up, and then the courts get involved, and then it goes. And I once I process it the way he talks to me in my head, then I go, okay, this is gonna work out. I'm gonna be all right. Do you know what I mean?
The American media has gone ahead and really forgotten the way that Trump's strategy it was, especially in his first term.
Sure.
Steve Bannon has gone ahead and phrased this as the flood the zone political theory.
Oh my God, that's
essentially.
great. I never even thought about that.
Yeah, so basically
that phrase.
what he says is that he goes ahead and flood the media with as much headlines, as much distraction as possible so that people become subservient and are basically less likely to vote against a specific candidate because they feel like, oh, their vote doesn't matter because we already have a king.
Yeah.
And that's what...
It's so true, though.
It sucks that the No Kings March is the way that it was because the branding is incorrect. We don't have a king. We have the court system that has routinely gone ahead and voted against Donald Trump. Even today, we just had the executive order against birthright citizen permanently struck down by a federal judge. So at this current point in time, you just got to wait.
But when he first said it, and I showed up in the studio.
Yeah.
He's like, "Don't worry, it's not a." It's a plan. It's an idea. He's putting it out there, getting everybody riled up. Oh no, but he gets away with it.
But he's flooding the. What'd you say? Flooding
Flooding
the
the zone.
Flooding
Well,
the zone.
the first
That's what
thing
he's
that I
doing.
was taught when I was in constitutional law is the fact that the courts can't act on something unless something has happened. So if you say, "Oh, I'm going to go ahead and sue somebody over XYZ," the courts can't say, "Oh, we're going to stop you and shut down your lawsuit before you even file it."
Because you had that freedom to do
Right.
it.
Because you have the freedom to speak out and say what you want to say. Until you actually put pen to paper, push that executive order, do whatever you're trying to do, destroy the ballroom. They can't stop it until it actually started happening. And
now
then,
it's at a halt.
Then now it's at a halt,
he
and then
did
we
say-
just keep moving forward with the courts. And eventually, it is going to go ahead and hit the midterms to where we're going to see a complete switch in terms of the party alignment within both House and Senate.
We can only hope.
But that only happens.
Follow
That
the
kind
kid.
of follow the kid. It's my line. I'm telling you, I tell people that all the time. He doesn't
You get
know that I
shirts
do.
made and hats made
No,
that
but
say follow the
that
kid.
should be a great shirt for WMNF, the
Follow
big
the
gay
kid.
radio show. And then on the back is I'm following
Follow
the
the
kid.
twink.
Yeah, but here's the thing. He's smart. I
Yeah,
told you that in
I
the
know,
car.
I know.
He unraveled that whole thing for me because I would just get so. Oh my God, I would be calling him every week. I'd call him 2 or 3 times and go, "You don't know what he just did. He's just." That's not what he did. That's what he says
What
he's
he
gonna.
said.
He says he's doing.
He got
it.
his big fancy pen
He's
out.
got
and
everybody. Everybody
signed the paper. Yeah.
I know.
Wrote a Truth Social
Yeah,
post,
yeah,
talking
yeah.
out of his butt.
A lot of people
Right.
think like I do, and that
Sure,
and
that's why.
and that's what the
it's
flooding the
clickbait
zone is
happens,
about.
yeah.
He gets everybody all in that chaotic confusion and anger, and everybody's all
It's
frustrated.
the same reason why it's clickbait when you see things on Facebook and the ad is targeted towards certain things. Or
Well, there's a
Instagram.
certain politician right now. His name's James Uthmeyer. He's trying to run for Florida governor. And his exact strategy is taken out of the Flood the Zone playbook. He is going ahead and doing and saying everything he possibly can to flood the headlines and flood the media so that he is looked at as a legitimate candidate.
However,
But he's
Yeah.
just a,
yeah.
I'm not going to say that word.
Let's leave that for later.
We'll leave that for the censors. But
Do
yeah,
people cuss on your show? Is there anybody?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we do.
I
It
just-
depends on the
But
guest.
I'm glad that you
Yeah.
have it because he uses the F-bomb every other.
No, because you can select categories as to how you want to post it. So
No,
if
but
it's
I'm
meant for
glad-
children or not. Or,
No, but I'm so glad that he didn't do that today. I'm glad that he kept it classy because he will.
I know. I listened to the after
He
show.
says the F-bomb.
It depends on.
It's
I
everything
think
is the F-bomb.
I think I've said the F word 10 times on 4 seasons. I mean,
No,
I
but-
use it, but I don't
It just sounds so much.
casually. I'll use
He doesn't.
it.
Look, perfect example. He doesn't have to use it. He had a full-out conversation. Never said it once.
See
and
that?
He can do
You
it.
can
He just
control yourself.
he just likes the sound of it. I think.
Well, I used to work in a call center.
yeah,
so
yeah.
Oh, there you go.
I've learned it.
Let's do some quick rapid fire questions, which I know the answers to already because I think I know both of you pretty well enough to know that. But
Okay.
short men or tall men?
Oh, short, absolutely. I like him little, honey. I like that Tom. In fact, Tom Holland is taller than I would like. There was a guy today at the DMV. Wow, he was about 5'5". Oh God, I love men that size. They have to be in shape though. But I like them little. I do like little men. I like them to be able to put them in my purse. I really do. If a guy can fit inside my purse, I am very, very happy.
If it's a person that's like shorter than I am, like it has to only be a couple inches. Like, because I'm 5'11", so I'm already pretty tall. But I fall in love with a man that's over a head taller than me, a 6'8" man who's beefy. I love it.
I don't need no tall man. They're scary. I don't
See, that's why I work in the construction industry, because I get to look at all the very beautiful men.
You see the tall men.
I see the tall, beautiful men, the straight ones.
If you look inside my purse, you'll see a small one in
a
there.
couple small men.
Got some pocket-sized Tom Hollands in there.
Oh God, I think Tom Holland is beautiful.
Vodka or tequila?
So now, because I'm on Retta, I'm drinking vodka when I do drink. You know, because I gave up, which I never drank tequila. Tequila makes me vomit anyway. But I was drinking. You know, I'm a Fireball drinker, but I had to give it up because of the sugar.
Sugar.
Yeah.
Tequila was what I would do when I was 21, and I would be carried out of cocktail on Sean's shoulders. So
Well,
I
you're
don't
talking
do
about
tequila
seltzers
anymore.
now, right? I've seen you drinking.
I do seltzers.
Yeah.
I do seltzers. I'll do a lemon drop, vodka lemon drops and stuff like that. But tequila is not a good combination with the twink.
Christmas or Thanksgiving?
Absolutely, Christmas. 1,000%. I wish Christmas was every day.
I know, me too. I could listen to the music all year round.
Me too. And just.
I prefer Pride.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I love Christmas. I don't.
Pride is my Christmas.
I love everything about Christmas. The weather, the music,
I know.
the cartoons,
The Carpenters.
the Carpenters. I just
we know we love the Carpenters.
Karen singing Ave Maria is just my favorite. Oh my God, I don't even want to talk about it. It's just Christmas, definitely.
Well, guys, thanks for being on the podcast.
Thanks for having us.
Anything else you want to cover?
I don't know, but we're real happy that we got to cover stuff.
Yes.
Because we
Normally it's just banter.
we did an interview this week and it was pretty rough.
I didn't listen to this week's yet.
Listen,
It wasn't this week's episode.
Oh,
it
it's
was
coming.
it was a different show.
You were a guest.
We were a guest on a different
Yes.
show, and it was a very interesting situation.
It was a very nice lady.
Very nice lady.
Very nice lady. But she just, I think that, you know, she just didn't have the technical skills that you have to interview, to ask questions, to make it about the, you know.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I think you guys have you had a little press tour then this week, right?
Yes.
The Big Gay Radio Show.
I do want to go ahead and do some special shout outs if that's possible.
Sure.
Our amazing crew. We've got Sean Kelly, who's our voiceover artist, who's
The best voice.
He's the best voice. He's also the unsung hero of the late night show. Because there were times where I would leave a cable and I would not be able to, I wouldn't go home. I wouldn't be able to go home. So at 11:30 at night, he would go ahead, bring my cable from Largo to Tampa. And then there's Joanna Grosso, who does our community calendar, Joe on the Go. Love her to death. She used to be a former host. Then we got Clara Leeson, the CEO of Project No Labels. She does our big gay news, and she does an amazing job.
Another great voice.
Great voice.
Very much so. And then we've got our
You guys have great voices.
We've got our legendary other featured hosts of Brian Hinkson and Vin Swayze,
just so
and those
sweet.
guys are absolutely amazing. They come in almost every other week, and they're just
Brian is my
absolutely
little
amazing.
brother.
I love Vin on the show.
Brian,
Vin is phenomenal.
Brian
He
is my
amazing.
little brother.
Yeah.
I feel like Brian is my little brother. Yeah, I've been with Brian a long time.
Yeah.
Vin added a different level onto our show as well, and I love Vin so much because in addition to Esme being everywhere in Tampa, Vin is pretty much everywhere in St. Pete. So anywhere you go, you see a flyer of somebody who's involved on the show. So it just shows that we're the heart.
Well, I don't know where he lives up north of Pinellas County, right?
Yeah. But it just shows that we're essentially the heart of the community.
Yeah.
He's very talented,
is right
by the
there.
way.
Very talented.
We really have our hand on making sure that we have basically the individuals that truly represent the community on our show. And even myself, before I started doing all this show, I was on the board of a local nonprofit, and I established a scholarship that raised over $15,000 in its first year. So we all done a lot of really good
and you guys,
things.
I mean, you have the platform, and you also have you've done the legwork. You've been on the nighttime slot, which got the gears going, right? And now you're in the daytime, and you guys
It is easier to get up.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah. You guys make it look easy for people that you have a platform, right? So someone that's listening, or maybe someone has a parent who's listening who doesn't support their gay child, or maybe
We've talked
someone
about
has
that on the air.
Maybe they'll secretly listen to it on the way to work and say, I'm gonna turn this on and see what these folks are talking about. Any little tidbit of information that you guys can get out there into the universe is so helpful in this day and age, in this climate.
It's sad that I have to constantly say, we don't really say it on the air, but privately to each other, I say, we're trying to normalize as much as we can that being gay is not some weird thing, okay? The fact that I'm transgender is about this much important of me. I have other stuff that
you got a lot going on.
I am. Being transgender is this much of me.
Yeah.
I'm somebody's child. I have family. I have friends. I read things. I watch movies. I collect things.
You've married people.
I marry people. Yes.
Well, there wouldn't be a need for the Big Gay Radio Show if there was proper LGBTQ media representation.
That's so true.
And so I think that, our success will come from the fact that we won't need to do the job anymore.
Yeah, that would be wonderful. And then we don't have to call it the Big Gay Radio Show, which I didn't want to call it the Big Gay Radio. I didn't even know what I wanted to call it, but
Yeah.
You actually were very pushed back because it used to be the former hosts, Esme and Brian's Big Gay Radio Show. And then when I took over, I explicitly said to everybody, I'm like, we're not doing names. No names on the show.
Yeah.
I like the name, the Big Gay Radio Show.
I prefer just the Big Gay Radio Show. I think that having all the names has made it too long. And
it's fine. It's grown on me now. I don't want it to be anything else now. We're already labeled that. There's no point.
We're branded.
We are branded. There's no changing the name now, so we're in. I'm following the kid. I'm telling you.
Follow the kid.
that's the.
Well, keep following him because you're doing it right so far, right?
Yeah. Got us this far.
So Tuesdays at 11, where do we find you guys? Social media, everything is under the Big Gay Radio Show,
Just
right?
under the Big Gay Radio Show. We are also Spotify.
And you guys do a ton
Apple
of
Podcasts.
fundraisers. I see your bingos. You've got over everywhere from here to I don't even know how far. You're always doing something in terms of a fundraiser.
I think that we're going to incorporate my brunch and the Big Gay Radio Show. I think I'm going to link them at some point.
At Show Bar?
Yeah,
then we also we've done giveaways. Shout out to Veronica Fox.
Oh, you guys just did one this week.
We just did that. And so
you guys are always supporting everything. And if you can tie in a brunch or tie in a bingo, whatever it is, I mean, the more visibility and
because Show Bar would do it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely they would.
Yeah,
and they'd participate with the gifts and everything.
Yeah,
because they're very good about. We did it for Pride of Tampa. Why can't we do it for the Big Gay Radio Show? You know what I mean?
Sure.
So,
well. I'm thrilled that you're on the show. I'm thrilled that you have an 11 a.m. time slot on your own, and I appreciate.
This is a very nice studio.
Here.
Congratulations on getting this little spot here.
Oh, thank you.
It's very nice here. It's very clean.
All I do is show up.
It has a very nice modern look to it.
All I do is show up. Voxa Studio, our friend Nico here runs it, and all I do is show up and sit
nice. I really do like, and it's
sit my happy ass down.
And it's comfortable,
Yeah.
And the temperature is great in here too. You're not sweating like bullets trying to. You feel chill. It's just chill. This is great.
Well, thanks.
Yeah, I like it a lot.
We appreciate you guys coming on.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
Yes.
And we'll talk soon.